It's time. The time for political posturing is really over. They know there's no chance that's going to happen. It requires 2/3 of both houses. The Republicans have no interest in playing that political game with them. So we need to focus on those things that are going to bring us business and jobs to the state of Iowa, and stop the political posturing. You know, they were in session here for almost 6 months. The last thing Iowans want is them to come back, start getting paid again so they can posture more at the taxpayers' expense. That's not what Iowans want. They want us to do what we're doing, focusing on jobs, going out and calling on business that can bring business and jobs to our state. That's exactly what we're going to do.
So you support this plan to reduce the number of workforce development offices?
Well, first of all, let me say, I want to commend Teresa Willard and the Department of Workforce Development for coming up with a strategy that I think can be even more effective than the way things have been done in the past. As you know, federal dollars have been cut, and the state also faced some significant budget issues, somewhat caused by the increase in the public employee salaries, which Governor Culver agreed to without negotiations. And they have to eat that out of their budget like the other departments and agencies. But what Teresa Willard came up with is a strategy to actually increase access and make it easier for people to get access to job opportunities. So they're working with the libraries, working with the community colleges, working with the National Guard armories, working with the Veterans Affairs offices in all 99 counties to have access to this. These offices, many of which were open only part-time and were only open limited hours. We're going to have more hours and more access than was available before, and obviously and we're looking at ways that we can provide better service at less cost to the taxpayers. And I think that's what Iowans are looking for, and appreciate us moving forward with a new way to provide services, as opposed to saying we have to obviously do everything the old way, the expensive way that frankly, and the other thing is, we said, and you heard this throughout the session, we're not going to use one-time money for ongoing expenses anymore. That's another old way they've been doing things that we're going to stop. And so they did that, and they also didn't provide enough funding to even pay for it. So we got to get past the political posturing and focus on things that are going to get results and bring business and jobs, and also help people find employment opportunities.
So it sounds as if you're familiar with what's going on in the armories. They're opening workforce development offices in the armories at the same time they're closing these others.
Right. Yeah. Armories.
In the armories?
Well.
Or will it just be a terminal?
Well, I'm not exactly sure what's being done everywhere. I do know that we have 16 one-stop shop regional offices, and Kim can talk a little more about that. But I would also say we're also trying to make access much more accessible and available on more hours, and that's where armories, the Veterans Affairs offices, the libraries, community colleges are all, and you know, we need to quit working in silos and start working together, and that's one of the things I'm excited about here.
But it seemed a little incongruous to be getting a news release from Workforce Development about opening 42 workforce sites in armories to help returning soldiers find jobs at the same time they're closing 37 offices.
That was all part of their plan. In fact, if they announced this way back in February.
In those armory offices, it's just a computer terminal.
Well, I think there are people there sometimes. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure that, but what we're trying to do is partner with and work with the National Guard, the libraries, community colleges, the county departments of Veterans Affairs. And they have people, it's kind of like what Kim did when she was county treasurer. I was going to say, you know, what we did is we partnered with the county treasurers to offer better services to people, and I just remember the bureaucrats and all the establishment was against this. But we finally did a pilot project in, I think, how many counties in Southwest Iowa?
Well, it's just like driver's license. There's different ways of providing service, and what we did, and you've heard the story, we went from 1 day a week to 5 days a week utilizing county treasurer's office that was already in office, the infrastructure was in place, but we stepped up and took on the additional duties so we could do it cheaper and expand services. It's the same thing with paying property taxes and vehicle tags online. We live in a technical age where internet is accessible. And so people could go online 24/7 and pay their property taxes, renew their vehicle tags. Oh my gosh, we thought we were going to close down Treasurer's office across the state of Iowa. No, we expanded service. We took an opportunity to expand services at a lower cost and provide access to people. This is no different. We're expanding access points. It's not where they're going to, figure out what they need to do exactly, but it's a way for them to enter into the system, to make the initial contact with workforce development so they can start the process to serve them. And they have gone from, from 55 to 16 regional sites. Every individual is within 50 miles of the site, but in addition to that, they currently have 60 access points with the goals of going to 190. Now, a lot of these sites were only open one day a week, one afternoon, not very accessible, but people will have, there's some Saturday available times. It's open later in the evenings. People need access at different times, and this gives them the opportunity to have that access. It's a step in the right direction. We continually need to look at ways that we can become more efficient and more effective, and this is one way to do it. It doesn't stop. I've been quoted all over for saying how impressed I was with the Creston site. I was impressed with the Creston site. That was 2 years ago. It was a one-stop shop. They'd won an award for being proactive and really looking at how they could provide services in a different manner. Well, it doesn't stop there. We need to continue that progress, and this is exactly what Director Whaler and that workforce development is doing, looking at effective ways that they can provide services. Another reality that they're dealing with, and I'll turn the microphone over here.
Go ahead. It's all right. You're on a roll. Just stay with it.
Is we're looking at reduced federal dollars. And that's reality also. So they need to continually be looking at how they're going to provide these services, realizing that they probably will be receiving less federal dollars also. So it's a way to provide extended service, and that's what we need to be talking about.
I would also point out.
I just want to make sure that you're not firing people that work at these other offices.
No, we're not hiring. No, we're not hiring more people. We're not hiring more people. We don't have the resources to do that. But we are trying to provide better access and more opportunities for people, even though we're going to have fewer people working for workforce development. I would also point out, and I want to commend workforce development on this, 32 states are in debt to the federal government and their unemployment trust funds broke. That's not true in Iowa. In fact, Iowa employers have been paying higher assessments in order to replenish that fund as we've gone through this recession. But I think the good news is that we're going to be in a situation not too far down the road to be able to reduce those unemployment taxes again, and that is one other positive thing that we're going to be able to tout in Illinois and other states when we go, because our state's unemployment trust fund is not broke, and there will not be the kind of increased taxes that they're going to face in Illinois and other states.